Hi all and welcome to Excel Basics Plus. In today's session we're going to have a look at the MAXIFS and MINIFS functions to find the most recent or oldest date of birth or age. So super quick, this could be used in a myriad of ways. You might be looking at a pile of invoices, for instance, and you're looking for the oldest invoice date. You need a criteria base. If you're looking at invoices, you might need the account number to be that criteria for all invoices. There might be 1,000 invoices. There might be 250 customers with 4 invoices each. And as an example, some of those invoices might be older than others, and you can actually find out the oldest invoice by using the MAXIFS function. To give you the baseline, we're looking at the max and min functions. So we'll start with the min function. Whilst looking at Bob's indoor cricket, we're looking at the players, their dates of birth and their age. So with the min function, we're actually going to be looking at the age, and we're going to be finding the youngest person or the youngest age that we do have on file. Now, there's always a very quick and easy way to do this. So you can filter a table by smallest to largest, and you can get the very first value. However, you have to do that every single time. So by having a formula, it will always tell you what is the youngest age in this case. So the min function, very simple. It's equals min, min, open bracket. And we are literally looking at the age column. So I'm actually just going to select that entire column in that table. You can see table 3, age, and I'm going to close the bracket. Press enter, and we can see that there is a 10-year-old in there. And we can actually see Caleb right there, 10. That looks to be the youngest. Let's check it. Sort smallest to largest, and you can see that Caleb is a 10-year-old. And so he is the youngest person in Bob's indoor cricket team. So that's the min formula, equals min, and select your range of data. Now we selected a column. You could also select a range, something like that. That is now D5 down to D18, and it would select the minimum age, the youngest age out of that range. Very, very simple formula. Next one we're looking at is the max formula. Obviously, the maximum, we want to find the oldest person in Bob's indoor cricket team. So, once again, very simple formula where equals max, open bracket. We are looking for the maximum number, the highest number. Once again, we'll actually select the column, the age column, and you can see table 3, age, close the bracket, and press enter, and 41 is the oldest. Now let's check that. Let's filter by largest to smallest under age, and 41. Benjamin is 41, and so that is the oldest person. Once again, it's equals max, and then the range that you're looking for. Now that can be a table column, or as I said, you can select a range, and that range, for instance, D5 through to D16 could be what you choose. So they are the basis of finding the youngest and oldest, in this case using age. You might have a whole pile of data in milliliters of liquid, and you want to find the smallest value of milliliters of liquid. You would use the min function. You want to find the most or the highest milliliter amount. You would use the max function. Lots of different ways you can use that. Now, the other thing that we want to have a look at is we can use criteria to actually provide a result. So, for instance, I want to find the date of birth for the youngest male. Okay, so we're actually going to use the max function, but we're going to use the ifs function with that. So it's max ifs. Now, you'll recall in our youngest by age, we used min for the youngest. Now the reason for that is the minimum number in the age column. What I'm looking for now is the actual date of birth. Now, the date of birth is actually going to be the MAXIFS formula. And the reason for that is I'm looking for the highest date, if you like, the date closest to today. So this is something that you've always got to think about. What is the value I'm looking to output? Now, as I said, we're looking at the minimum value there, which is age by years. And here we're looking at the date closest to today, which is the maximum date. So MAXIFS is what we're after. So once again, we're going to find the youngest date of birth by male and then by female. So we start with equals MAXIFS, MAXIFS, open bracket. And what are we looking for? We're looking for the date of birth for the youngest person. So we select our date of birth column, comma. What are we looking for? We're looking for a male, so we need to select our gender column, comma. And what is the criteria that we're looking for within that gender column? Well, it's male. So we're going to click K7 because we've already got the M in there, and that's what it's looking for in the gender column here. And I'm actually just going to hit F4 a couple of times because what I'm going to do is drag this formula across into the female formula as well. And we're just going to lock in the row. So $7 will lock in the row, but it won't lock in the column, which means when we drag this across, K will change to L as we drag that formula. Okay, so MAXIFS, open bracket, table 3, date of birth. So what do we want to return? We want to return the date of birth, comma. Where is the criteria found? The criteria is found in the gender column, comma. What is the criteria we're specifically looking for? It's M. So we do K7. Or we could have actually done parentheses, M parentheses. And that hard codes that formula to look for M in the genders. So we're going to close that formula, close bracket, and press enter. Straight away, we can see that the youngest date of birth is 6/12/2010. Now, let's check that. We come in here, date of birth, filter, newest to oldest, 6/12/10, and it's Caleb. Okay, so we'll undo that. And now, as I said, I locked the row but not the column on the gender that we're looking for, the criteria. I'm going to click and drag that across with my little plus button. And straight away, we've got a problem. What's the problem? It's now looking in, if we just click that, let's have a look. It's now looking for MAXIFS table 3 age, and table 3 team, and using L7, female. Now, what's happened here, and this is why you always need to be careful with your formulas when you're dragging them, is that because we're using a table, it's not locking the criteria range and the result range because it's using the header names. Whereas when I locked the row for 7, that actually has meant that we could drag that formula across to change the criteria. So what this is now showing you is that you always need to be careful when using tables and dragging formulas across. So what we can actually do is we can redo this formula. Let's start from scratch just so that we reiterate what that formula is. So we're saying equals MAXIFS. What's the max range? What is the output we want? It's the date of birth, comma. We are looking for the gender to be F for female. So we're looking in the gender column, comma, and we're going to choose L7 because that is the gender that we're looking for the result. Close that bracket, press enter, 24th of June, 2007. Very easy way to check. Date of birth, newest to oldest. And we've got 24th of June, 2007 is the first female by date of birth as being the youngest. Okay, so we'll undo that again. Okay, so the next piece, of course, is the oldest by date of birth. So we used MAXIFS for the youngest. We want to use the MINIFS formula for the oldest because we want the minimum date, the oldest date. So once again, very easy. Equals MINIFS. Exactly the same as the MAXIFS. Where are we? What is the output we're looking for? What do we want to result? We want to result the date of birth. So we choose the date of birth column, comma. The criteria that we're looking at again is male and female. So we need to choose the gender column because that's where we're going to find our criteria, comma. And we're going to choose cell K7 again. That is the male criteria that we're looking for. We're going to close that bracket and we're going to press enter and 150979. So that will be our 41-year-old. You can see the age right there, 41. And we'll do the same for the female formula as well. So equals MINIFS, open bracket. Now, what are we looking for? We're looking for the date of birth. So we choose the date of birth column, comma. We choose our criteria range, which is the gender, comma. And what is the criteria we want to return? F for female, which we've put in L7. Close the bracket and press enter. And we've got 7th March 1985. So let's check those dates. Let's change date of birth to oldest to newest. Okay. Now, male, 150979, 150979. Come down to the first female, 703, 1985. So that confirms it. Absolutely confirms it. So for the youngest, we had to use the MAXIFS. For the oldest, for the date of birth, remember, we had to use MINIFS. Now, if we're looking for the ages of the youngest male and youngest female, we will use the MINIFS. Very similar up here, exactly the same. We used equals min because we're looking for the smallest number, the minimum number. So we're going to do MINIFS. And we're going to put a criteria in being the gender. So equals MINIFS, open bracket, and we're looking for the age. So we select the age data. Now, once again, you can select a range like that, D5 to D18 as an example, but we're looking for all data. So we're going to choose that entire column in that table for age, comma. Where are we finding the criteria? Well, we're finding the criteria because we're looking for the youngest male in the gender column, comma, and we're going to choose cell K7 for the criteria, which is M. Close bracket and press enter. Now we know it's 10 because we worked out that the youngest by age here was male. That was equals min, table age. This is now looking for the male gender and the youngest by age. And we can do the same for the female criteria. So equals MINIFS, open bracket. What are we looking for? We're looking for the age to result, comma. We're looking for a female, which comes in the gender column, comma. And where's the criteria? It's up here, L7. Close bracket, and there we go, 13. Now, very easy way of doing this. If we sort this again by youngest, so we're looking newest to oldest, the youngest male is 10, the youngest female is 13. Similarly, we can do the same. We've gone MINIFS for the youngest, we go MAXIFS. MAXIFS, we're looking for the age to result, comma, and we're looking for a gender, so we look in the gender column, comma. What are we looking up? We're looking up M for male, close bracket, enter, 41. Let's do the same for the female. So equals MAXIFS. What do we want to result? The age, so we choose the age column, comma. The criteria range, we're looking in gender column, comma, and what is the criteria? We're looking at F for female. Close bracket, and we're looking at 36. Once again, we change this to oldest to newest by date of birth. You could also do it by age. And we see the oldest male is 41, 41, and the oldest female is 36, 36. Now, super quick, we can also, rather than having to do this search for the MINIFS, we can actually use our date diff column formula, which we have actually presented in previous videos. It's date diff, so the date difference, and we're looking at the date of birth being the youngest, so that is our start date, comma, we need our end date, which is today, and we've used the today function before as well, so that always returns today's date, comma, and how do we want it to show? Well, we want years, so we will use parentheses, y parentheses. That is the output that we want, and we close that bracket. So just recapping, date diff, the first part of the function is the start date, which is the date of birth. The second part is today's date. Now you could hard code that date in, or if you want to make sure that it's dynamic so that it changes every day, put in today, open bracket, close bracket, and it will always return today's date. So start date, today's date, comma, what do we want it to return? Well, we're doing years. Now there's a whole pile of other functions around date diff. You can do days, you can do months and years, so on and so on. But we're just going to use years because we're just looking at the age at the last birthday. And I'm going to press enter, and you can instantly see 10 comes up. Now I'm going to drag this across. We can instantly see 13, and I'm going to drag this down, and you can see 41 and 36. So that's it for today's session. I hope you found those formulas useful and that you can translate those into your everyday. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Remember to turn on notifications so that you see when the latest videos do drop. And above all else, keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.